In the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem asking, "Where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we observed his star at its rising and have come to pay him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him. And calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it has been written by the prophet, and you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod secretly called for the wise men and learned from them the exact time when the star had appeared. Then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word, so that I may also go and pay him homage." When they had heard the king, they set out, and there ahead of them went the star that they had seen at its rising, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. On entering the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother, and they knelt down and paid him homage. Then, opening their treasure chests, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they left for their own country by another road.
Epiphany means a revealing, inextricably linked with the Magi, gentle visitors to Jesus, scholars from the East following a star, bringing their gifts. Matthew is the one to recount the story, surprisingly not Luke, who was the Gentile gospel writer. But here we are at the very beginning of Matthew's gospel, and men who are as far from Jewish heritage as possible were meeting with Mary, Joseph, and they were presenting gifts to Jesus. A revelation indeed. Not only did God draw in outcast shepherds into the joy and privilege of his light, but also Gentiles. Jesus is truly being revealed even now as light of the world, light for the world. Light is wonderful. It brings colour into a grey world. To those of us who wait sleepless for the first signs of dawn, it brings release of tension. To those of us who suffer seasonal depression, it brings a living promise of hope. To those of us who fear the shadows, it brings a vital return of confidence. To all of us, it comes, herald of change. Everything about Jesus belongs to the light. It's why and how he has such life and energy, why he attracts all who want and need to feel his warmth and his vitality. Light words all reflect life and movement, dancing, sparkling, streaming, flooding, shifting, shimmering, delighting our eyes, lifting our spirits, healing our bodies, inviting wonder. Life creating life, giving life, enhancing light. Jesus is the antithesis of all who choose to dwell in the shadows, who scheme and exploit, abuse and damage, exclude and diminish. He scatters hope, embraces all, renews self-worth, restores identity, feeds the crowds and bestows forgiveness. He holds out the promise of living differently to all who would receive it. The life that is in him is the light of God, and the light of all people. A light that shines in the darkness, which the darkness has not and cannot put out. The first essential of creation, the first description of our incarnate God. The essence of the New Jerusalem from beginning to end. Light. Epiphany calls us all over the world to live in the light of Christ, the forgiving, liberating, shining love of God.
The world waits for a miracle. The heart longs for a little bit of hope. Oh come, Emmanuel. The child prays for peace on earth, and she's calling out from a sea of hurt. Oh come, Emmanuel. And can you hear the angels singing? Glory to the light of the world. Glory, the light of the world is here. The drought breaks with the tears of a mother. A baby's cry is the sound of love. Come down, Emmanuel. Here's the song for the suffering. Here's Messiah, the Prince of Peace has come. He has come, Emmanuel. Oh come, Emmanuel.